It does appear that there are several protests that are planned tomorrow. The one that we are part of is a protest that is organized and led by Action Aid and the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room with other actors. It is important to make this clear distinction because we're at a time when you have different groups, some whom you may not know what's their intention. But the intention for this march organized by Action Aid and Civil Society Situation Room is to further put pressure on the Senate to do what is right and what is in line with the wishes and aspirations of Nigerians. When the Senate passed its own version of the bill, between Wednesday till date, there have been three conflicting narratives in the public space. The first one was that the Senate passed electronic transmission of result, or real-time electronic transmission of result. That's the first narrative. The second narrative is that the Senate didn't pass electronic transmission of results. Instead, it maintained the provision in section 65 to the effect that the procedure for transmission shall be determined by INEC. The third conflicting narrative is that the Senate did pass electronic transmission. However, it removed the word real-time and then also a qualifier which is called transfer, because what was contained in the bill is transmit and not transfer. These are conflicting narratives. They are conflicting narratives because in the first place, the Senate missed that opportunity to effectively communicate to Nigerians exactly what's its position. It's good and heartwarming to hear that the Senate is convening in an emergency plenary meeting. When they left for recess last week, they didn't have any intentions of convening an emergency meeting because the conference committee was given till 24th. But they have now called for an emergency plenary. We don't know because we're only speculating what's the agenda. But we're only guessing that the only plausible agenda will be to approve and adopt the votes and proceedings. And the message is just clear. In approving the vote and proceedings, which is part of legislative practice and procedure, it is important that those provisions regarding one, real-time electronic transmission of results are contained and reflected because senators have said that was exactly what they voted and that was the content of the bill that was tabled before the Senate for consideration. The second is around downloadable PVCs. In 2023, over 6.2 million Nigerians could not collect their PVCs. If you check the results of elections in 2023 and subsequent elections, the margin of victory or lead between two candidates is lower than 6.2 million. So the number of people who didn't collect their PVCs is substantial enough, even if you don't justify it by virtue of the numbers. But why shouldn't a citizen who is registered and had their names on the voters register, why shouldn't they cast their vote? We need to protect the right to vote, and that's why the bill says downloadable PVCs, either those that are missing or those that are issued. That way you increase, voter participation. The third one was about the time frames and timelines that were altered. When the House of Reps passed its own version of the bill in December last year, some of these provisions that the Senate seemed have mutilated or changed was passed by the House of Reps. So it is disturbing that the Senate chose this path.